Hey, what's going on, everyone? And welcome back to my channel. I decided to start this about 2 minutes early because I don't want to spill over into the 9 o'clock hour tonight. And I'm going to show a video. And when you show videos and you stop and you give your commentary and analysis, that oftentimes expands the total stream. And this video is about 20 minutes. So I want to be very efficient tonight. Let me make sure I am broadcasting over on YouTube. And of course, thank you to the person who left me that like ahead of time. Let me see. Yep, there's me. Yeah, whoever is there, whoever the first one is there, if you want to let me know who's there, please do. When you're live streaming and you have somebody watching, it's helpful chemistry wise to chat with the people who are there in the chat. So let me know who's here, somebody, and then I'll get this thing going. And the goal is to take off and land within an hour. Okay. I guess folks are being shy. Well, I'm wearing my Curtis Schoon shirt tonight, and this one says the truth may be an offense, but it is never a sin. And I'm going to talk about where this stream came from after the intro. All right, so well, whoever feels comfortable letting me know who's there, let me know who is there. I'm going to show a video by Passport OG first, and then I'm going to read a passage from Dr. Ronald Neal's Beyond Death in Jail. Okay, because I think this particular passage pairs nicely with something that's said in Passport OG's video. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and start. And whoever wants to watch this on the replay gang, you can watch it on the replay gang. Whoever wants to join me live, I will see whoever shows up. So with that, I'm going to jump in. So where did this topic come from? So I'm going to admit that because of where I come from, see, in this world, we're all living in different worlds, and not everybody is privy to the same information.
That we will rush to finish things that are important so we can do things that are not. And I believe it's an immaturity there. People just don't understand that, life isn't about having fun all the time. You have to have fun sometimes. I agree. But as an adult, there's time where you have to just say, okay, listen, I got to get down to work right now. And I don't think enough of us value that time or really understand the fruits of that labor. Somehow we think things are just going to be without that kind of effort. And culturally, there's a deficiency there. That's why I always say that there's no political solution for cultural deficiencies.
So where did this topic come from? So I'm going to admit that because of where I come from, see, in this world, we're all living in different worlds, and not everybody is privy to the same information. Cynical optimist, I really want to thank you. You're the first one in, and I appreciate your continued support and your continued viewership. It really means a lot. no matter how much people donate or don't donate, when you're live streaming, it matters who shows up to listen to you and interact with you. And I appreciate your support here, and I appreciate your support over on my science channel. All right, so I'm going to ask a question. I think that the answer to this question is very, very obvious. Are Black fathers needed anymore? Perspectives by Dr. Neal and Passport OG. Okay, before I hop into this, I just want to mention I want to acknowledge T. Riddler and no, it was Tuesday because Curtis Scone, I interviewed him here several months ago. I shared Curtis Scone's stream on my community tab on this channel, and T. Riddler said, "Well, where's the content?" So, in other words, Dr. Dunbar, the way I interpreted that was, "Where's your content? We want to see you." I think that's what he meant by that. Everybody, please smash the like button. Let me know who's here. Let me know what you think about any of this. So I really appreciated that because that lets me know that somebody's getting something out of this and somebody is enjoying this. But things have just been that busy. I went on a break in August, and then when I came back shortly afterward, I had to help my mother and my uncle drive down to Georgia. So that was just a lot, and I'm getting ready. Shout out to the field master, Ron Wills. I'm getting ready to vend for the first time. You guys have heard me talk about my book for like the last couple of years. Uh, but I'm going to get my first experience actually vending at a conference this week. The Congressional Black Caucus Annual Legislative Conference is in DC every year. But I'll be able to have a table and there'll be thousands of people walking through. So this will be my first time. Let me slow down. This will be my first time actually vending. So more people are going to hear about this besides you guys. So it's just been busy. There's a lot of preparation that goes into something like that, especially when you'll be speaking on panels. There's just a lot of preparation. So long story short, it's just been very busy here. So J3 says that's exactly what he meant. Okay, so excuse me. I'm getting excited here. He said that's exactly what he meant. We want to hear your perspective. Okay, well, you're going to hear my perspective tonight. Speaking of perspectives, I did give some reaction on the gentleman that got unalived 2 weeks ago. That was on the way back. I learned about that on my way back from Georgia, and I did give some reaction to it. I did set that to private. So those of you who didn't see it, well, maybe I'll make it live when all of this settles down. But I'm a Fed, and one of my coworkers who's very paranoid, another Black male, shared an article that the current administration was watching everybody's social media. I didn't say anything disparaging about the individual who got unalived, but I thought it was just wise to take any commentary I had on it down, because you never know. So T. Riddler, there was content, but I had to take it down. All right, so are Black fathers needed anymore? Perspectives by Dr. Neal and Passport OG, and I should probably flip those. This is an obvious question, but Curtis Schoon, once again, when he was doing a stream on Schoon TV, he basically talked about the state of the world, the state of the United States, the state of the Black community, and he said, the twerking, the degeneracy, the babies born out of wedlock. He basically said, okay, somebody's causing this. Somebody calculated this. Somebody intentionally brought all of this to be. Okay. And in Dr. Ronald Neal, we're in discussions now about a Q&A here, but he basically gets to that. A lot of the degeneracy in the Black community and the bifurcation. You guys are going to hear that word a lot. Bifurcate. The bifurcation in the Black community along gender lines. He makes the argument that much of this was premeditated and it's a part of a larger plan. And I went with that image of Boys in the Hood for this thumbnail because I thought about, when I got up this morning, I thought about Furious Styles, played by Lawrence Fishburne, and Trey Styles, portrayed by Cuba Gooding Jr. I thought about them, and I thought that that was a powerful portrayal of a Black father and a Black son. And in that thumbnail is also Ricky, portrayed by Morris Chestnut. And those of you who saw Boys in the Hood, you know that Ricky was fatherless. So Ricky and Doughboy, they were two illegitimate children. Well, Trey was illegitimate too, because Furious didn't marry Reva. Is it Reva or Reba? Played by Angela Bassett. But it was a powerful depiction of a Black father and his son, and also his son having friends who didn't have fathers. So Furious was very much a father to Trey and Ricky and Doughboy. And throughout that movie, in the beginning, when Trey was little, Reva lost control of him, and Furious said, "Let me take my son." And we're seeing a lot of this bear out in our world right now and in our community, the absence of fathers. Judge Joe Brown, the master teacher, is here. Thank you for gracing my channel. Judge Joe Brown offends a lot of people with his misogyny. And a couple of years ago, he had some comments about Memphis. Apparently, Memphis is a bit of a war zone now, and there's a lot of criminal activity in Memphis right now. And Judge Joe Brown said something about the mayor, who was a female, and what would happen to her if she went through one of those neighborhoods. And he brought up the male elephant experiment. Okay, this was a classic experiment in Africa, where I'm going to be very, very brief here. It took, in the absence of male elephants, bull male elephants, the young teenage elephants were running wild and killing other creatures, killing other animals, and they were out of control. But it took the presence of the bull male elephants to restore order. So in terms of mammals, I'm a scientist. In terms of mammals, in terms of communities and species, it's known that the presence of males will bring a level of order to the communities that they are in, and the absence of those males opens the door to all kinds of chaos and bedlam. Okay, so we know this. This has been known for a while. So Passport OG made a video about this. The master teacher says some was intentional, mostly was unintended consequences. All right, master teacher. So I'm going to read a passage from Dr. Neal's book after I show this video. If you're still here, I'd be curious to hear what you have to say about it. I don't know if you've read Dr. Neal's book, but we're in talks to have a discussion ourselves. So after this, there's something in this video, and this video hits close to home because the video, part of it actually takes place in the Washington, D.C. area. And it involves the mayor of Washington, D.C., Muriel Bowser, and I think other city officials. And they get asked the question, where are the fathers? The solution to these problems you're seeing is the lack of fathers. Why aren't there fathers in these homes? That's a hard question to ask today. Because at that point, now you're asking, why aren't there fathers there? Are they deadbeats? Did the mothers of those children choose good fathers? Were they looking for fathers? Okay. And why should society have to pay more money because there are no fathers? And who's to blame here? Who's responsible? Very, very hard questions today. So I'm gonna cue up this video by Passport OG. I'm gonna read this passage by Dr. Neal, and then I'm gonna read the Black Lives Matter manifesto to top it all off. Because I think that very much gets to where some of this might be coming from. All right. A little Passport OG theater. In this this one, I think all of Passport OG's videos are masterpieces, but this one starts off in a very, very provocative way. And if you look at that image right there, you can see why. Please smash that like button. Let me know what you think in the chat. Salute to Passport OG for his tireless work every day. Fair use, fair use.
This y'all thoughts, what y'all wanted. This what y'all wanted. Red chill. I don't know who Baby Z's is.
In section 7-1234.02 of DC Code, you use the phrase child welfare involved birthing people. Child welfare involved birthing people. Can you explain to me what this means?
It's no surprise to many that for a lot of us in the last election, many of us couldn't go all the way over to the other side and vote Republican. And what we were hearing from the people that we traditionally voted for and the Democrats just wasn't it. So, of course, it was the couch for 2024. And when you listen to this kind of discourse, you can understand the conflict as to why so many of us who usually vote Democrat just couldn't do it this time.
Child welfare involved birthing people. Can you explain to me what this means?
Okay, Maggie, good evening. Salute to you. We need to huddle up and talk and do something this fall. Okay, I want to get Dr. Neal and someone else. I definitely want to. It's beyond time for us to kind of chat. Who remembers the term birthing people? The Steven Spielberg is here. Should I say our John Singleton is here? YouTube, don't do my man wrong. I had to scroll down my subscription page to find the red dot. Okay, so maybe I'm shadow banned or something. Who remembers the term birthing people? I want to keep going. But that was introduced by a politician from the Democratic side, and that's kind of how we're looking at things now in this lens. Can we say what a woman is anymore, or is it a birthing person? And I think the man who just got unalived, this was in part what he talked about, the man who just got unalived. Let's keep going. Fair use, fair use.
I'm not that familiar with that part of the code.
Okay, and so you don't know. In section 7-1234-02 of DC Code, you use the phrase justice involved incarcerated and homeless birthing people and their non-birthing partners. Can you explain to this committee what that means?
I would have to see
You don't
the whole
know. You're
section.
literally the mayor of DC and you don't know your own code of laws.
As a person who has voted Democrat for basically my whole life, at least until the last couple of elections, it's infuriating listening to a Democrat party that is obsessed with these inclusive terms, especially when a Black woman mayor of Washington, D.C., she is mainly representing Black people. And in that district, they need access to healthcare, they need good education, they need people that need access to good jobs because they've gotten laid off. You have guys that need better representation in family court. Instead, there's all of this conversation about this stuff that doesn't really matter. I don't care what you call women. I need better laws, better representation, better access to what we're paying taxes for. And they've lost sight of that.
Okay, so that's Mayor Muriel Bowser. Muriel Bowser. If you do a Google search and start digging around, well, if anyone's curious, because I'm looking at this, I'm not going to say it here, but if you go digging around, you might find some interesting things. Mayor Muriel Bowser, and also keep in mind Marion Barry, the great Marion Barry, who did a lot for Black people. He was once the mayor of DC. So, it's interesting to think about where DC has gone and where its leadership has gone since Marion Barry to where it is now. We all know that the current presidential administration brought troops here. Okay. And why did they bring troops here? I'm going to leave that open-ended. Mayor Muriel Bowser, for those who don't know.
One thing we noticed the DC Code struggles to define is the term woman. So Mayor Bowser, what is a woman?
I'm a woman. Are you a woman?
100%.
Okay.
100%.
I'm a woman. You're looking at one.
Okay, good. You actually, in section 3-703 of the DC Code, you use the phrase, the intersectionality of gender and race to create unique dynamics and effects. Can you explain what this means to the committee?
Where is that, ma'am?
Section 3-703 of the DC Code. Do you know what that means? No,
Could
you
give
don't
me
know
the
what that means. So
title?
if you're the mayor of DC and you don't even know your own code of laws, what is a birthing person?
I would assume it's someone who gives birth.
All right. Why don't you use, are these women? Are these moms? Do you think it's appropriate to call them birthing person? Can a man birth a person?
Well,
Be a
that's
birthing
what I
person?
would call it, but I don't write all the laws, and I'm not familiar with every
Can
section.
men get pregnant?
No.
Can men become women?
Can a man become a woman?
Yeah. Can a man become a woman?
Miss
Yes
Mace,
or no? Can a man become a woman? Yes or no?
Miss Mace.
The problem with this conversation is that when they're talking about diversity, equity, and inclusion, and we have a Black female mayor of Washington, D.C., that's talking about intersectionality, the boots on the ground issue is that there are an overrepresentation of Black men incarcerated in this small district. And so why is the elected representation not focusing on trying to fix this problem of the constituents instead of worrying about all of these words and terms and trying to be inclusive? Because these are the people that need help the most.
So it was Cori Bush. It was Representative Cori Bush. I think she introduced birthing people. Okay, she's on the Democratic side. I don't think she's in. I think she got voted out. So maybe she was just useful for a little while. But if you look at this figure here, Passport OG is presenting, you can see it says incarceration rates comparing the District of Columbia and founding NATO countries. So DC is far outpacing the total country in terms of incarceration rate and these other Western countries. And once again, you know, the current president brought a military presence here that was highly scrutinized. Was there a reason he brought those troops here? Let's keep going.
Of course, there are some people that want to think that Black men are inherently evil and this is what we deserve. But a good number of these men just got caught in the system. And one way to get caught in the system is arrears in child support. And so when guys from other cultures start saying, you guys need to man up and do X, Y, and Z like a real man, they don't understand that you could get here very easily, especially as a Black man.
Don't cry, Diddy. It's okay.
The body scanner reveals the brutal truth about your body that your regular scale will never tell you. For weeks, my scale.
We don't have a problem with this being the case. We take pride in this. As men, we take pride in this. We take pride in our ability to take care of. We take pride in our ability to be responsible for, to be the one who solves problems, who bears the burdens. We take pride in that. Whereas the red pill movement complains about it, and acts like it's unfair and so forth. You actually have a problem with being a man. You actually have a problem with the burden of masculinity because it's a burden to you, not something that you're proud of.
As per OG, who is this gentleman? You know, what he's talking about is the schism between, you know, the current environment and traditionally what a man is and what a man is supposed to do and what a man is supposed to be. But without really in good faith talking about the current environment socially and culturally in terms of gender and also gutting of the industries here. So if you want to share who this guy is, let me know. Looks like this is from Middle Nation. Fair use, fair use.
Rather than being proud of the fact that you're the one who can bear the burden. You're actually trying to inculcate in men weakness and feminine qualities, and no offense to women, but the feminine qualities of not wanting to share the responsibilities and so forth, rather than taking pride in the fact that you're able to take a responsibility and to take care of people, in the people over whom you have authority and responsibility.
While
Excuse me. Thank you, Maggie. Maggie says, This is Shahid Bolson. He said something interesting. He said, inculcating feminine qualities. And then my question would be, where do the masculine qualities come from? And who teaches the masculine qualities? Very useful, very useless. Let's keep going.
Well, in theory, this makes perfect sense, what he's saying. I don't think you'll find a stand-up man anywhere on the planet, including America, that would have an issue with this line of thought that he has, his logic. But the issue is not that men don't want to take care of a woman and his children. The issue is that that woman can, whenever she feels a certain way, weaponize the state against that man. And any well-meaning that that man wanted to portray in terms of being a protector, provider for that child and that woman, that can evaporate with one call to the family court.
Hey, hey, hey. Look what I just got. Long time coming.
Want to put your baby daddy on child support? Yep, he be having another around my kid. He be calling me a bitch every day. Do he do for the child? Yeah, but he be calling me a bitch every day. Disrespect on me. All right, hey bro, how much money you be paying a month for the baby? Bro, I don't even know, like a whole lot. Like I pay for the daycare, I pay for clothes, shoes, all kind of shit, bro, food, all kind of shit. If you do all that, why do you want to put him? He got another girl and he called me a bitch every day.
Yeah, I want to deposit a check.
So this lady, I believe she's on TikTok, right? Passport OG. I saw this before on someone else's channel. She's celebrating that she got the first child support payment from her baby daddy.
A child support check. It's a beautiful day today. Beautiful day to receive child support.
And I do it alone. He literally pay for everything. But if a man can't talk to me the right way, he can't be around my baby. No, that ain't how it works.
Yep. It's y'all fault. It's what y'all wanted. This what y'all wanted.
Passport OG, is that Corey Holcomb narrating that? It sounds kind of like Steve Harvey, but it wouldn't be Steve Harvey. So it sounds like Corey Holcomb. Let me know. Fair use. So so here's a good place to stop and ask this question. For young boys below the age of 5, who's teaching them to do this? Are these fathers teaching them to do this? Who thinks this is okay? Who's teaching these young men to do this? To switch, to walk like that, to be feminine? Who's teaching that?
Red chill. I don't know who Baby Z's is. I don't know who Q D's is. But y'all dead ass wrong. Y'all so wrong. I don't think God can make it right.
Bro, keep doing for the baby. Anything change, I'm gonna put you on child support, but until then, you good, bro. Okay, tell her I'm good. Ma'am, he good, no child support. Oh my God, I've been thinking about doing this alone. Oh my God.
You know, I wouldn't be me if I didn't have a White Claw to this. So, cheers. If you ever could take any advice from me, put your baby down on child support.
You want to be the one who can carry the heaviest weight. When you're at the gym, you want to be the one who can bench press the heaviest weights, the biggest bench press or deadlift or what have you. You want to be the one to do that. But when it comes to responsibilities, you don't want to be the one to do that. Why? When the one is not actually an indication of your masculinity, but the other is. If you can bear all of the responsibilities, you can bear the psychological struggles that men have to go through in order to take care of their families, you can bear that without any of the anxiety or the stress or the turmoil that goes on in your struggle touching your family. Yeah. That's something that a man is proud of. You want to keep all of everything that you're going through completely apart from your family.
I can recall, I think after I defended my doctorate, I remember my dad saying that. He said, you don't want to share everything with I was seeing somebody at the time, and he said, you don't want to share everything that's happening to you with your plus one. Okay. I just made that connection right there. He's saying you don't want to share your hardships with your family. My father shared something similar with me just after I earned my doctorate.
in my opinion, is why it's important for us as citizens of Earth to understand other cultures. If you come from a culture where you essentially know that the law of the land is going to protect your relationship with your kids, you can think this way. But if you live in an area where your significant other can wake up one day and say, I'm bored, I met somebody else, I want to go find my happiness, eat, pray, love. Oh, and by the way, I'm taking the kids and you can't see them anymore. And worse yet, I'm going to raise the kids in the way I want to raise them. Then this doesn't work, at least not anymore. And even the levers of government have come to understand that we got to do something, because otherwise guys aren't going to sign up for this.
So salute the passport OG. That's why I said, he was criticizing the quote unquote red pill, but it wasn't in good faith, because he also wasn't talking about the environment that we're in right now, which passport OG just eloquently unpacked. So this is the meat and potatoes of the video right here. This part really touches me. This is right here where in the metropolitan area where I live. Okay, this is a Democratic run city. These are all Black elected officials. Where did this type of thing come from? Okay, fair use. Salute the passport OG.
Our murders in Washington, D.C. is an embarrassment. The amount of crime is embarrassment. I guess the thing is what we're doing to solve it. And we just heard 4 experts apparently on the topic give their opinion. I sometimes, when I'm back in my district, which is not Washington, D.C., do ride-alongs with local police, local sheriffs, local police, what have you. And I ask them what the causes of crime, and almost uniformly they talk about the breakdown in the family and how families are not as strong as they once were, is how they're not fathers in the family. And I think if you look at statistics, which are hard to find on the background of people committing crimes, you frequently look at.
So Ridge is already
Hold
really
on.
good at the wallet and all the everyday carry stuff, but I was surprised with how much they were able.
What I would describe as weak families and fatherless families.
This is Mr. Glenn Grothman, a representative out of Wisconsin's 6th district. Culturally, we are probably about as far apart as can be possibly imagined. But when he's talking about simple things like, I'm hearing that most of the families don't have fathers in them. And he's talking to a panel of people in Washington, D.C., telling him we need $800 million in funding because we're doing X, Y, and Z. And he's saying, yeah, but when I talk to the people that are policing the district, they're saying the biggest issue is that the fathers aren't there. What is your response to that? As a voter, a Black male voter who sees the need to have the father in the home, while you're seeing young ladies celebrate getting child support checks as winning, and then people from other cultures saying all you have to do is be a man, it just doesn't add up. So why wouldn't someone who has voted Democrat his whole life not listen to Mr. Glenn Grothman basically speaking facts?
Nevertheless, 4 of you.
I just want to salute Passport OG one more time, because I live here in the district and I'm so busy doing what I'm doing. I don't have time to follow all of this. And, for those interlocutors who think Passport OG is just encouraging Black men to get passports and go overseas, he also gives exquisite commentary on society and politics and culture, much like this. So the question, does it, do you just throw more money at the situation, or is the problem that there are no fathers? And then the hard part nobody probably would want to answer is, where are the fathers, and whose choice was it for these guys to become fathers? Okay, good luck getting a straight answer on that.
In your prepared statements and talked about what we're doing to reduce crime, not one of you mentioned the decline of the role in the decline of the role of the father in the family over the last, it's been just getting worse over the last 60 years. I'd like to ask you, are any of you doing anything to try to keep more fathers at home and being mentors for these kids? The vast majority of murders are committed by males. Are you doing anything along the line to get the fathers back in the home?
Are you doing anything to get the fathers back in the home? Okay, that's one way to approach it. And then the other question is, how do you pick good fathers? Okay, that's the real nuclear question there. How do you pick good fathers? What's a good father? Who should be a father? Who shouldn't be a father? What are you picking? What's being picked? Because it's a two-person thing. Fair use, fair use.
Congressman, let me answer that by saying we, and I know that I focused a lot on our law enforcement efforts, but we commit to and invest in a lot of prevention efforts as well, from incredible and effective funding of our public schools to our.
Yeah, I only got 5 minutes. We got to
Yes, to
address
our-
the topic. What are we
Yes.
doing to get fathers in the home?
Well, sir, we take the position that we support families in whatever form they come in, and we make investments that the government is responsible for.
We support families in whatever form they come in. That sounds like somebody's manifesto, okay, which I'm going to read at the end of this. Fair use, fair use. We support families in whichever form they come in. What is a family today? What constitutes a quote unquote family?
Great schools, great health care, safe
Mr.
streets.
Jackson, could you want to try to answer that question? Are you doing anything?
Yes,
Talk about the importance.
a major priority for funding for community violence intervention programs focus directly on mentorship with young men. In DC, we have a program called Pathways. We work directly with those who are most at risk, and it's about everything from not just preventing violence, but how to be providers and protectors in the home.
Well, are we doing anything to make sure that a higher percentage of children born in the district are born in families in which there's a father in the home?
Styles.
Okay, this gentleman was going for the jugular. Okay, but if you're interested in solving this problem, you want to get to the root causes. Let me get rid of this ad here.
Starts with the details. The difference between mid and next level, a real gold chain.
Are we?
Now, explain to me, as someone who has voted Democrat for the entirety of my life, why there are no Democrats that sound like this. Now, can I go all the way to the other side and vote Republican? I'm not ready to do that just yet. But come on. I mean, this is a guy from Wisconsin, a Republican, and he sounds like the most sane person in the room. These kids are bad. Where's their dad at? And you're talking about all of these other things. We include all types of families, and we're doing mentorship programs. Yes, can the kids see their father? And they're dancing around the question.
Are we doing something to address that problem, which to me is the big problem? And again, we have these hearings on crime, and none of the witnesses seem to be addressing the root cause of the whole problem.
If I can, that $812 million that was terminated by the Trump administration cut community violence intervention programs. Many of them do precisely that. So if that's a priority, we should be funding, doubling down, and scaling out that work.
I'm not sure that's true, but any of the other guys, Mr. Schwab, are you aware of anybody doing anything to talk about the importance with Washington's youth of having a dad at home when that child is born? Is anybody addressing that problem in the city?
Every day, all day, sir, people are talking about how do we strengthen the family? How do we strengthen communities for young people? How do we make sure that young people have role models, family members, and others? Let me mention one other thing that's important from the work that my office does that doesn't make a lot of press. But one of the things we have a responsibility to do is do child support enforcement. And
no, that's not the problem.
Child support enforcement. Child support enforcement. Okay.
The problem is we don't need a guy paying child support or having his wages garnished. The problem is we need a guy in the home. So what are we doing about getting the guy in the home?
We're trying to make sure in the enforcement of our child support rules that we are lowering the friction between non-custodial parents and custodial parents,
Okay,
so that kids raised in the home have.
So we're
both
not
parents
addressing the
engaged.
problem. Okay, thank you.
I can't think of.
So the previous gentleman This guy just talked about child support. The previous gentleman with the beard, Shahid something or other, he talked about inculcating female attributes. So getting child support payments will not introduce those masculine attributes that a father could teach a good father. Okay, and let me caveat that. Okay, we're at the end here. Fair use, fair use.
Anything more heartbreaking as a father who loves his son than to see his son taken away from him and then being socialized into this new woke agenda that essentially tells him to be anything except a masculine man. And then you put the man on child support to make things even worse.
Don't cry, Diddy. It's okay.
Thank you. For any of the people wondering why there's a growing number of black men who are looking at the Democratic Party sideways, this gentleman wanted to be a father. I don't think there's any doubt in that in the way he's crying here. But for whatever reason, the mother of his daughter saw it fit to separate him from her and put him on child support, which put him at the threat of going to jail. Does he look like he did not want to be a father? No. But of course, if the narrative is black men are deadbeats and black men aren't good fathers, and it runs through the media, and it takes a representative from Wisconsin, 70-year-old Republican, to see the issue, that there are a lot of black men that want to be fathers. But the problem isn't that black men don't want to be fathers. The problem is that the environment has incentivized having a child and turning the child into a paycheck. Is it all women? Of course, it's not all women. Is it most women? I don't think so. I hope not. But it's a lot of women, because it's so tempting to say, I would rather just get the check, get the money, just like you heard the 4 people on the panel from Washington, D.C. If you just give us the $800 million, we can make it work. But there's no amount of money that can replace a dad. As a heterosexual black male who has voted Democrat for the duration of my life, it is refreshing to see my family values being represented, even if it's by a 70-year-old white man, Republican from Wisconsin. I don't really care about where he's from. I care about my family values being represented. And if the Democrat Party can only offer non-binary and intersectionality, and we're going to do all of these other things except find a way to not make child support a substitute for a father, I just can't rock with that. And you can see that he's fed up, but a growing number of black men are fed up. And if they don't get their act together, they're never going to get the mojo back. And I'm talking about the Democrats, because there are too many men that are fed up watching their kids, and more specifically their sons, getting fed into this, whatever you want to call this woke machine, instead of growing kids that can contribute to society and the world. Get your act together, Democrats, because that couch is going to look tempting in the next election too. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment below. I'll catch you next video. Take care, guys.
All right, everybody, let's give a round of applause to Passport OG for that one. Wow, that one was powerful. That one was powerful. Hold on. And one of the things I was thinking was, you have a gentleman from Wisconsin, which is a Midwestern state. It's a Great Lakes state. It's almost galaxies away from Washington, D.C. Aside from Milwaukee and maybe Madison, Wisconsin is mostly farmland. So I imagine they were looking at him and saying, "What's this? I'm not going to say that, but what does he know about what we're going through here in the district?" But he mentioned root causes. What are the root causes? What's causing this, and what will fix it? Okay, let me everybody, I don't normally read. No, I normally read, but I don't normally read on streams because I don't want to bore you guys. But I think this is a nice follow-up to that masterpiece Passport OG created. And I think reading the BLM manifesto, which I'm going to read, I think that kind of really hammers home like where something like this is coming from. Why who approves of little boys walking on a runway switching like that? Who thinks it's a good idea for to not have a nuclear family? Okay, so I'm reading right now Beyond Death in Jail by Dr. Ronald Neal, and we're in discussions to do a Q&A sometime soon, and I'm racing down the finish line. The hardest part is to finish a book, but I read something very interesting this weekend, and I'm going to share it with you all. Now, bear with me. There's a lot in this book, and Dr. Neal put a lot of work into this book, and we'll probably come back to this during the Q&A, but bear with me. I'm going to stop, take breaks, look at your comments, but I think this is a nice follow-up to what we just watched. Okay, this is from chapter 5. Who's afraid of black men? Okay, I'll just read the main title. Who's afraid of black men? All right. Okay. The gradual process of bifurcation emerged after 1965. If you remember, the gentleman in the video said this has been going on for 60 years. 60 years is exactly from now is 1965. So does anybody know what a bifurcation is? Bifurcation. Dr. Neal talks about that in this book. All right. The gradual process of bifurcation emerged after 1965, after the publication of Daniel Patrick Moynihan's government-commissioned report on the Negro family in the United States. I think the Moynihan report would make the mayor and those people on the panel shudder. A lot of people don't like the Moynihan report because of what it points to. Okay. The gradual process of bifurcation emerged after 1965, after the publication of Daniel Patrick Moynihan's government commission report on the Negro family in the United States, the case for national action. Moynihan's report called attention to an economic crisis with respect to adult Black men in industrial centers of American society. He called for an economic program to be undertaken to alleviate the economic barriers to jobs in relation to Black American men across institutions. Subsequent to its release, Moynihan's report was read and interpreted as a government-initiated study and proposal that was hostile to the condition and predicament of Black American women. At the center of Moynihan's findings was the dominant family formation among Black Americans in America's industrial centers, which was led primarily by women. In contrast to the nuclear family, this women-led family formation was treated by Moynihan as a cultural impediment to the development of the Black male population. It was held up as a factor which contributed to the dilemmas faced by Black men in American society. A family formation where men did not function as economic providers and authorities in the family was regarded as hazardous to the full incorporation of Black Americans into white capitalist America. Moynihan's finding produced tumult on the part of the white American ruling class, Black elites, women, and men, who then created and propagated an alternative to Moynihan's thesis regarding Black family structures prior to the 1970s. Black American women and men elites, bolstered by white ruling class interests, took an opposite position, which affirmed the role, authority, and dominance of women in the Black family life. These elites promoted the positive role of the extended family and the leadership and influence of women in this family arrangement. The extended family, not the nuclear family. The turn to matrifocality as a positive family arrangement was supported by liberal white women and men and feminists who would attach it to the political interests of the burgeoning women's movement. Since the 1970s, matrifocality among Black Americans has been promoted as a major cultural advancement to be preserved and valorized perpetually. More significantly, matrifocality was treated as a Black American gift to the West. The perspective mirrors the sentiments of W.E.B. Du Bois, who promoted what he termed the genius of Black folk, valorizing the positive aspects of Black American culture. Since the 1970s, matrifocal defenders of Black American culture have overvalued and overrated the powers of matrifocal family structures. In contrast to matrifocality, which I regard as a romantic exaggeration, I view and treat matrifocality as a consequence of centuries of conquest and oppression. As such, it is a historical adaptation to the conquest and oppression, which is tied to the historical suppression of Black American men. To this end, if matrifocality, mother figures and women, has been prominent in Black American family life and Black American social thought, it is in large part due to the historical barriers and obstacles faced by Black men as a group. Okay, I'm almost done here, guys and gals. If Black men as a group have been marginal as authority figures and shareholders in family power in Black American culture, much of it can be attributed to the economic, legal, and political impediments to Black men's ability to live out traditional masculine roles, norms, and expectations in the United States. The primacy of matrifocality or motherhood is less a product of a heroic and noble matrifocal tradition independent of historical circumstances than it is the effect of the economic and political suppression of Black men reflected in unemployment, underemployment, and overall disenfranchisement. The fact remains, despite more than half a century of protest to the contrary, Black men as a group are measured according to, stigmatized, and punished by traditional masculine standards. As a group, the inability of Black men to live up to such standards is what propels a matrifocal Black American culture. White Americans have demonstrated over several decades that it is more advantageous to throw marginal support behind this matrifocal enterprise than it is to remove all the barriers to full-blown participation of Black men in American society. The welfare state, philanthropic initiatives, and affirmative action policies, which primarily target women, have been integral to the preservation of white interests in the United States. So the preservation of matrifocality among Black Americans is a useful tool in the perpetuation of white power in America. Almost done here, guys. In a word, there is a happy marriage between matrifocality and the interests of ruling class white society. Matrifocality among Black Americans does not alter, disrupt, or undermine white interests and white supremacy in the United States. The marriage between Black matrifocality among Black Americans and white interests is relentless, damn near impenetrable, and enduring in the United States. Okay, 54 minutes. I'm gonna end with the BLM manifesto, because I think it speaks to what we heard in the video, and Dr. Neal, when he just got to what's driving a lot of this. I think the BLM manifesto is an appropriate way to end here. if I can find it. I know that I read this weekend. Hold on. All right. Hold on. Where is that manifesto? Not there. Ah, here it is. All right, so if you recall, now keep in mind, a lot of people don't know this is going on. My mother watched one of these streams about a month or so ago, and she asked me, what is decentering men? What does that mean? What is decentering men? What does that mean? Okay. So, and apparently Black Lives Matter, they posted this and they took this down once people started really paying attention to the fine print. All right. This is the manifesto. Dr. Neal put this in the same chapter. We are self-reflexive and do the work required to dismantle cisgender privilege and uplift Black trans folk, especially Black trans women who continue to be disproportionately impacted by trans antagonistic violence. We build a space that affirms Black women and is free from sexism, misogyny, and environments in which men are centered. Son, what is the centering men? We practice empathy. We engage comrades with the intent to learn about and connect with their contexts. We make our spaces family friendly and enable parents to fully participate with their children. We dismantle the patriarchal practice that requires mothers to work quote unquote double shifts so that they can mother in private even as they participate in public justice work. We disrupt prescribed nuclear family structure requirement by supporting each other as extended families and villages that collectively care for one another, especially our children. So remember in the video, they said we support all family, we support all family structures. Let me read that again. We disrupt Western prescribed nuclear family structure requirement by supporting each other as extended families in villages that collectively care for one another, especially our children, to the degree that mothers, parents, and children are comfortable. No talk of men in there, no talk of fathers. We foster a queer affirming network. When we gather, we do so with the intention of freeing ourselves from the tight grip of heteronormative thinking, or rather the belief that all in the world are heterosexual, parentheses, unless she or they disclose otherwise. Okay. Passport OG, if you want to come and say a few words about any of this, I'll drop the link for Passport OG. So Chaos Rain, if you're out there, don't hit it. And then I'll wrap the stream up. So that was the Black Lives Matter manifesto. And when I read this over the weekend, and just now I watched that video of the interaction with the gentleman from Wisconsin and Mayor Bowser, I heard some of that. So going back to Curtis Spoon's question, someone's driving all of this, someone's encouraging all of this. Well, all of this is coming from somewhere. Okay. And going back to Boys in the Hood, if you guys recall, Furious, when he was teaching Trey and Ricky about what was on the billboard and black on black violence, he said one of the quickest ways to get a people to kill themselves is to take away their ability to reproduce. So you can do that violently, or you can disrupt the ability of men and women to partner and create strong nuclear families. And that's a strategy in pesticide usage as well, organic pesticide usage. Passport OG is here to give the benediction. Hello, sir. Domo. You hear me? You're muted. If you're talking, you're muted. Okay. I'll wait for him to come back. If everyone, please smash that like button. If you want to donate something to the channel, my information is there in the ticker. The super chat is live, and if you're watching on the playback, you can leave a super thanks. Passport OG. All right, your mic is on mute. Your mic is on mute. All right, well, I will ask the rhetorical question, the question of the stream: are Black fathers needed anymore? And I want to salute that congressman from Wisconsin for asking that question. You almost can't have that question. You there?
Can you hear me back?
Okay, you are demuted. Say something. I hear some rustling around.
I can't hear you. Hold on. Let me go out. Come back in.
You're coming in very low. Okay, we have another passport OG here. Hello?
Can you hear me now, Doc?
Really? You're still
Yeah, unbelievable. Okay. All right.
All right. If all right, we'll try one or two more times. We'll try one or two more times. Okay. Well, everybody, that was a past Dr. Neal's book. It's a powerful book. I might have gotten myself in trouble by reading that passage there, but he's basically making the argument that a lot of this was put in place, and I think it was interesting that those DC city officials did not want to say, they did not even want to go there in terms of the father piece. Passport OG, you there? Okay, in the meantime, once again, if anyone wants to make a donation to the channel, my Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, Zelle, those are all there, and Super Chat is live. Okay. Well, I wanted a word from the director and producer. Now?
There's something wrong with the app. I have to come to the website.
Bro, I don't know what's going on with us tonight, man. You're just it's like your mic is turned down. Okay. Okay, we got it's like Ancient Smith here. We got another one.
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
All right.
Yeah, there's something up with the StreamYard guest app. It's I don't know. They're probably doing some update. What's going on, Doc?
Nothing much. How about you?
Hey, Japan likes to celebrate the equinox, or what's plural equinox? Equini, as national holiday. So
okay.
So I'm enjoying a day off, so I can stand an egg on its head on its end, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well. First of all, what made you create that one? That one really hit me. That video.
Well, I was watching the Z. I think is a couple of days ago, and I think somebody posted that in the super chat, and I went and took a look at it, and it's what 4 or 5 hours. So I just did a quick search on just like matriarchy, like a black father, like that, and then I found a couple of spaces, and I'm just flabbergasted. I mean, there are people that are taking federal funds that are basically just saying we don't need the father in the home. We just need the 812 million. Just give it to us. We'll figure it out. And that's in 2025. So it's shocking. So I couldn't help but once I saw it, I couldn't help but at least do something with it.
Okay. And how about the footage of the little boys on the runway? Where did you get that? Where did you find that?
Well, I'm on social media much more than I should be, considering how busy I am. But I mean, some things you see, you just can't unsee them, right? And the crazy thing is how normalized it's become, right? I mean, I'll be honest with you. I do like the little cross my chest, like the Catholics do, before I open Instagram, because that app is some foolishness. Like it's just an app full of foolishness. And you just get bombarded with that kind of mess all the time. So to be honest with you, I think part of what we watched yesterday with I'm not going to say his name, the CK stuff. Yeah. I think that's them making a beachhead against this and saying no more. Like, we don't want to do this anymore. We're going to claim our way of life. We're going to openly proclaim we're Christians and all of that. And we're not doing that anymore. And if you can't really see that as a liberal, I feel bad for you, because I think that they're sick of all of it. The reading the kids in school, the alternative family, all of that. I think they're tired of it. What they do, I don't know. But I mean, I think we've got to the point where people they just want things to be normal, whatever whatever you define normal as.
Yeah. What is normal today, especially for a generation or two who were taught in school that you could be anything. There is no, gender is a societal construct, and there's no such thing as a binary. So by changing those, what we thought were fundamental truths, you're altering the reality of your citizenry.
That's right. Well, you need some of those people that are doing all of these alternative lifestyles to still go to work and pay taxes and be dentists and scientists and manufacturers and not complain about it and not be, needing, what do you call them, the panic rooms, the safety rooms, whatever. Like, you need these people to be functioning in society. So what happens when you change the rules and everywhere you go, people are saying that they're being oppressed or not oppressed. I said they're being accosted, or I don't know what the word is they're using now. Like you can't have a society full of people that are finding the fault in everything, because half the population or straight men know that life is just not easy. It's just a given. So you want less people going through life as victims or more people going through life as victims? How does that help your society? I mean, I'm not even saying that black men don't have a right to be victims, but knowing that, it's not going to help us in any ways. But the last thing we need is more people, period, walking around feeling aggrieved, because you need some people to pay taxes, aggrieved or not.
Well, you need people to pay taxes, and if you don't have people, then you don't have taxes, you don't have a society, and
no, you do not.
You wonder the people, I don't know, in charge making these decisions 10, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, what were they? Did they think out the long-term results of some of these things? Reynolds, thank you for the $10 super chat. Much appreciated. He said, keep bringing the message. Okay. And I'm going to put a disclaimer out there in reading Dr. Neal's passage. I'm not saying that he discussed the white capitalist structure. I'm not saying that white people are inherently evil. I have a lot of friends who are white or Caucasian, whatever you want to call them. So I'm not saying that in reading that. But the question has to be asked for our community in general, in particular, how did we get here? And salute to you, Passport OG, for giving commentary on this and tracking this on a daily basis.
I mean, I track it as much as I can between all of my studying, because I don't have much of a life. I don't have much life between the studying and the working. So
let me ask you something. You're over in Southeast Asia.
No. East Asia.
East Asia. Okay. One of my neighbors is of a Russian descent, and she told me that a lot of the other countries have basically digitally blockaded themselves from us. So she can't communicate right now with her people over in Russia.
I know so, Russia's dealing with some of that. I've heard about that, yes.
So I think she was getting at, okay, I want to speculate here, but there may be some conflict brewing. But but do you think, first of all, what's happening where you are, and are they doing this to keep our culture out?
That's a unique case, because that's something between Russia and America. But
well, she said some of the Middle Eastern countries are doing it too, and
I can believe it.
And there are numerous countries that have kind of digitally blockaded themselves off from.
Well, I mean, our culture is our export now, right? We export culture. We've been exporting culture for what, 50, 60, 70 years, along with other stuff. But now mainly it is culture. So when Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion and Glorilla and Beyonce go overseas and they're twerking, they're basically saying to women, if you want to be free like American women, this is the way you present freedom. And what you see is, in a place like Japan, they can't do it outright. They just don't cover it as much, or they don't allow most kids to see it, or they just show them other stuff instead. But like, you have places that have harder censorship controls. They just say, we're not going to show that. So it depends on where you are, but I think a large number of countries they don't want to show Meg Thee Stallion to their kids. And in America, our kids are bombarded with Meg Thee Stallion. So take that for what you may, right?
Yeah, Meg Thee Stallion and Saucy Santana and Glorilla and
Hey, I'll go you a step further. I remember being able to turn on the television and see commercials of Naomi Osaka, right? I haven't seen a commercial or an advertisement of Naomi Osaka since before she had that baby.
Is that in Japan? You're saying
in Japan? Yeah.
Okay.
They're not going to champion single motherhood here. They're not going to do
Okay.
it. I mean, they can't afford it. Who's going to pay for the baby?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Jules of Tech, thank you for the $10 super chat. He says, unnecessary has been the programming and outcome. Everything is working as planned. Okay.
mhm.
Just Jules, I know you're part of. I think you're part of Theo's gang. I have a science channel, a STEM channel. I did follow you over there, but I'd be curious to talk. I know Theo doesn't want to give everything. He doesn't want to put everything out that he's doing because he's doing it for a specific reason. But I wouldn't mind talking to some of you cloud engineering guys on a basic level to just talk about cloud engineering, which you guys are learning a little bit of. But thank you for the super chat.
And also, Jules has a channel doing walkthroughs for getting certifications for or getting cloud certification. So if you Google his name, I'm sorry, not Google. If you search his name, you should be able to find his channel.
Okay. All right. You're turning these videos out like hotcakes, man. Is there anything else you have your eyes on right now?
I think that a lot of people are doing a surface level reaction to the homegoing service we saw yesterday. I call it a state funeral, but I think that they should see it more for what it represents. And it's like that's a beachhead against this woke stuff. Like I think that's like we're going to reclaim like Christian American values, whatever that means. I mean, take that for what you may. I think that at least they're basically saying what is happening to white people cannot continue to happen to white people. We cannot let this happen. The Black community happen to us. I think that's what that's what I saw yesterday, because when I saw her forgive the guy, what that basically told me is that the guy wasn't the problem. It was the indoctrination that was the problem. Like that's what I saw with that. So if that's the message really is we got to make sure that guys like him don't get this indoctrination, and we got to fix it. And how do you fix it? Hey, that's for other people smarter than me to figure out. But it's pretty clear. That big thing of her crying and say, I forgive him, that is a statement that the boy is not the problem. Something else is the problem. And they're going to deal with that problem. So that's what I see in all of this. I haven't seen many people look at it that way, but this woke stuff, like wearing it on your sleeve, I think we got another 5 years of that max. Especially if they're going to run like AOC and she has no chance of winning. If Democrats lose this next election, woke is going to be a word of the 2020s. A word is gone.
I didn't see that part. No one's been really, what that I could see was really presenting that part of her saying she forgave him.
Well, she did.
So that is powerful. And in the institutions of higher learning, when I talked to Dr. Neal, you know what? I didn't realize, I didn't quite connect the dots when I read Dr. T.S.N. Johnson's book, but reading Dr. Neal's book, now I understand the power of our institutions of higher learning, because they're shaping culture, they're shaping society,
that's right,
they're shaping public policy, and
what acceptable thought is.
They're literally shaping the minds of the young people that are going to those schools.
That's right.
So whatever's happening at our institutions of higher learning, those professors, those academics, those elites, as he described in here, they have a lot of power.
Yes, they do. Yes,
they do. Okay. And it's really powerful when you hear parents say that their kids went away and they come back and they don't recognize them anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And the kids are rejecting the values that they grew up on. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what's done to, I guess, cleanse the water.
I think that this is an existential crisis, especially in the world that we're in. And I think we have the political representation we have because of that precisely. I think because of that precisely is why we did not see the Democratic representative win a single swing state, not a single one. I think the tide is turned. I think people are. I don't want this. I want something that's representative of the beliefs that I have, and the Democrats, either they are in on it or they don't get it. I don't know which one it is.
Yeah. Passport OG, we're going to end with this. Literally, I think Black Guru thought this was funny. He said, you should have told moms the centering men is why you haven't married. Well, my mother did marry twice. Okay, I want to give the family business away, but I shared that because the folks from that generation are not like, in large part, are not like BGS and Black Guru, where they have their finger on the pulse of what's going on. There are people who are looking around and wondering why nobody's partnering, or why they don't have any grandchildren, or they don't understand the why. So, and MSNBC doesn't talk about decentering men. The View doesn't talk about decentering men. CNN wasn't talking about decentering men. So there are outlets that are not covering what that is or why it's important. So, but my mother did come to me and say, "What is decentering men?" She did say that. That's a real thing. Go ahead.
Well, the beauty of having multi-layered messaging is you can funnel people from your television platform where you can't say certain things to people who basically take the baton and run with it on social media. So they know that Whoopi can't say that term on The View, but they can use Whoopi and points she made on The View to basically say, this is why I support decentering men, blah, 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 blah. I mean, it's multi-layered. It's complicated in that on certain platforms you can say other things, and other platforms you can say more other things. And so you have a network of people basically picking up the baton and carrying messaging and saying more on certain on certain platforms than other people can say on other platforms, because they're wider audience to a more narrow audience, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, Passport OG. Before we wind down, you covered it, right? Whoopi.
I haven't covered that yet, but
her you have to marry well.
Her money issues, unbelievable.
Yes, isn't that fascinating?
Well, this is what's fascinating about that, Doc. We just talked about, if you go to school as the woke, independent woman, you should be paying taxes and moving like a man. What are you talking about? You got to marry rich. You're EGOT, don't you? I mean, come on, man. EGOT talking about you need to marry a rich man? Like, I don't know, man. If you are as accomplished as her, the last thing you should be talking about is I need to marry rich in her 70s or whatever she's in now. And there she is, still talking about it.
Yeah, after all the movies, after all the hit movies she made and was a part of, you wouldn't expect Whoopi Goldberg. And she has to work The View. She can't just not work. So,
and still needs a man who is participating at least in functional patriarchy to bail her out, even if he's not acting like a patriarch. Go figure.
Yeah. Okay. Well, sir, thank you. We'll talk some more offline.
Well,
and once again, bravo and salute for that one.
Man, I'm glad you're back, Doc.
All right. Take care.
Have a good one.
All right. And Jules, okay, yeah, I'll track you down and we'll link up and talk some cloud engineering and so I can get a basic understanding of what that is. All right, everybody. Let me slow down. All right, everybody. I have to. It's almost 9 o'clock. I need to eat something and jump into bed. But as I described at the beginning, I'm going to be doing my very first stint vending at the Congressional Black Caucus Annual Legislative Conference this week. So I'm excited about that. This book is a lot about what we talked about, or we just covered: changed environments. What happens when you change the environment? You change the outcomes. When you change the environment, you change the outcomes. That applies to everything. I'm going to wrap this up, everybody. Thank you for watching. Thank you to Ray Knowles and Just Jules for donating via the super chat. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you want a signed copy of my book, I'm selling the hardcover to you guys for out of this condo unit for $25 and the paperback for $22. Those are signed. Just use one of those payment methods in the ticker, but make sure you send me your mailing address as well, so I'll know where to send it. So with that, everyone, please like, share, and subscribe. Let me know what you think about any of this, especially if you are watching and you are a part of the replay gang. And look out for my discussion with Dr. Neal. That'll be coming up probably in the next month. And I will talk to you the next time. So I'm going to end with the question: are Black fathers even needed anymore? Are Black fathers needed anymore? Is 54% of Black men being single and childless in part an answer to that? And who put the things that we're seeing in place in motion? All right, everyone, enjoy the rest of your night. As always, remember that your attitude determines your altitude. Always try to do your best. Take care, and I will talk to you the next time. Bye-bye.